So hello everyone, my name is Dawi and today I'm going to show you my final project proposal. It's going to be an arrhythmia detection using a hybrid model that is going to be CNN NGRU or convolutional neural network or and gated recurrent unit. So let's start from the background, shall we? As we all know, arrhythmia is a heart rhythm disorder and it can cause dizziness, fatigue, and a serious risk of such as heart attack and stroke. If you haven't know, usually heart attack and stroke come from arrhythmia, or arrhythmia can be triggered by a heart attack. So we can say this three disease is what is a cardiovascular disease, and according to the WHO or World Health Organization, arrhythmia is included of a heart disease such as cardiovascular disease. And currently it's the leading cause of global deaths, especially in the developing countries such as Indonesia. And if we eat nasi padang, you know there is a very that could trigger it. And we know for a fact and we know that 85% of the world death cause is by a heart attack. But unfortunately, an early detection for arrhythmia itself haven't reached this technology era. But with the help of machine learning and AI, we can predict accurate and create a solution to detect and prevent any further complication for arrhythmia. So, based on the background, this research will be focusing on addressing three key questions. The first, how accurate can the hybrid model efficiently detect arrhythmia? And secondly, how effective the hybrid model is in identifying the pattern of associated with the risk of stroke and heart attack. Because as I said earlier, stroke and heart attack sometimes come from arrhythmia. So how can the model optimize for, and also how can the model be optimized for a lightweight portable device, such as a real-time detection, making it accessible for general public or low-income country or low-income people to use it. By answering this key question, the study can contribute to a significant development in advanced and accessibility to early detection technology such as anemia. And with that, we can answer it with the research objective, that is to develop a reliable detection model by combining CNN and GRU to enhance the model accuracy and capability, making it suitable for detecting potential risks of stroke and heart attack maybe later down the line as the model grow and keep learning from the data that it gets. This research explore the feasibility of optimizing the model of lightweight and portable device and enabling real-time arrhythmia detection in resource-constrained environment, such as again a low-income country or a low-income family person. But it is very important to note that the study focused solely on the technology aspect of arrhythmia. And also we did not account of the behavior factors such as the dietary, the habits of the physical activity for the patient. So we will excluding that from the scope. And furthermore, the actual deployment of the integration of the detection system is not going to be like injected into a healthcare infrastructure that are not addressing with this research, because we up to this point we haven't found any partner that are willing to work with us. So the study employs a hybrid model. As we all know, it's CNN and GRU to effectively process the classifying the medical data. As we all know, CNN is very popular in image processing. But in this case, we can use it to extract the pattern from the feature. From the structured data, while the GRU can excel in capturing the sequential or temporal dependency, then together the model can create a framework for this task, such as detecting from an ECG or an electronic electronic signal, or PCG or sound signal. And demonstrated in previous research by Thorne Cruz in 2023, the flexibility of CNN handling the complex biomedical signal is further highlighted in the potential of the hybrid model in medical application. So there is a couple of research that is using CNN and RNN, CNN and LSTM, and CNN and GRO, because as we all know, the RNN family is like LSTM is let's just call it the predecessor of RNN, and GRO is the predecessor of LSTM. So as that from that information, we can process through multiple layers, right? So the CNN layer is very good at feature extracting the feature, and while the max pooling and the drop up layers will reduce the dimension and prevent overfitting. But this is also ensuring the model remains generalized to the new dataset, so that it will not underlearn or underfitted. Once processed, the data will reshape into one dimension vector, and we will pass it to the GRO, while the GRO itself will adjust their internal state by dynamically to capture the temporal dependency, which are crucial for the long-term prediction, like the hard sound classification itself. So the more data, the better it is. And then finally, the GRO will output and send it to a fully connected layer where it will learn the feature from the temporal information are integrated to make the final classification decision. So this hybrid approach is ensure that the model will both accurately and efficiently handling the medical data from the arrhythmia detection and other heart-related diagnosis. So, but let's talk more deep about what is CNN and what is GRO. So first of all, the architecture model. This model combines two well-known models, and let's talk first about the CNN. So the CNN is used for starting the block for processing grid base, such as the ECG or the PCG signal, and the architect consists of several convolutional layers which extract important patterns and feature, following by the pooling layer to reduce the dimension of the data, and drop-up layers are also applied to prevent any overfitting, ensuring the model will remain generalist and faced with new data in medical application. CNN and the CNN enable us for complex pattern recognition, such as the abnormality that detection of the signal itself. And for an additional information, that arrhythmia is not just have a couple of type. First of all, where the heart is going to be faster than a normal heart rate, slower in a normal heart rate, or sometimes skip a beat. Usually the skip beat is what trigger a stroke. And the GRO, once the data is processed by the CNN, it will convert it into one dimension, and the GRO has a unique architecture with two main components, that is the reset gate and update gate, which determine which basically allowing information is going to be retained or updated. And this approach is very efficient in handling temporal relation such as sequential data like heart, because it's very relying on time. So the GRO is also a simpler model than much more simpler than LSTM, not a simple model, but without any compressing their ability to make accurate prediction in a sequential data. So after we combine the CNN and GRO, the spatial pattern processing by the CNN and analysis by the GRO, the result will be fully connected layers to make a final classification, ensuring that the model utilizes all the information that has been learned. But what about the data? So, okay, let's talk about the data. So, for the first data is we are going to use the data from Kaggle. There are roughly around 700 or 7 800 600 ish to 700 data, and it's an audio dataset in a format of VAV, a sound file type, and it consists from two devices. That is from the iStetoscope Pro from an iPhone app data that is around 582 data recording, and other the other quarter is going to be from a Digiscope Clinic Digiscope data, which is a digital stethoscope. It's around 250 recording. And we use for a hard sound segment, we are going to focus on the S1 and the S2, which is when the heart is going to expand and contract in the first place. So there's going to be an S1, S2, S3, S4, but mainly we are going to focus in S1 and S2. And also, if possible, if we manage to have an agreement with a clinic in Surabaya called Lombok Clinic 25, we are going to obtain data from there if we manage to create an MOU, that is. But for now, we are going to focus on the Kaggle data. So next we are how to evaluate and see the performance of this model. Well, we are going to use a standard accuracy, precision, and recall, and an F1 score. So the evaluation is, as we all know, is very critical phase, and to validate the effectiveness of the model that have been created, and which combine sorry. So the following practice from the prior studies include from Mumbai. The model is rigorous tested using the standard performance metrics, again with accuracy, precision, and recall, and an F1 score. From that, after we get the accuracy and the precision, we will get the recall. From that, we can create an F1 overall score, where it can average out the precision and the recall that is weighted. But to optimize the performance, we will also split the data set to, generally will be 50, 20, 30. But there is also an alternative, which if the data set is, I believe, under 1,000, we are going to change it to 70, 15, 15. That is 70 for 70 for training, 15% for validation, and another 15% for testing. This ratio may also be used depending on the requirement that we need. So again, the ratio could be changed later, maybe 80 to 20. Maybe we will use 80, 10, and 10. But again, this will be adjusted according to the dataset. This approach ensures us efficient training that with the hyperparameter adjustment, and maybe an advanced tuning technique such as maybe a swarm intelligence could be added to help with hyperparameter. But the testing mimics a real-world clinic condition could be a very hard thing, such as exposing the model to unseen heart recording and including the surround noise, like stethoscope is very sensitive to sound. You can hear any footstep, any coughing, any someone talking. It could be disturb the output of the model. So that's why if the performance is not there yet, we could add sound processing such as DW transformer to help with the noise processing. But ultimately, this phase of hybrid models is, from the research, is very reliable, accurate, and ready to be valuable diagnosis tool for heart disease if diagnosis tools in medical settings if we created a good model. So that will be all. Thank you very much. Have a good day.